Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Legacy here. Today, we're exploring a pretty wild fanfic scenario. What if Naruto was trained by Rayleigh? If you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you're always in the loop when a new one drops. Let's set a small goal, 50 likes on this video. I know we can hit it. Alright, let's get into it. Chapter 1. The Stranger's Arrival. A gentle spring breeze slipped through the streets of Konohagakure, stirring banners and fluttering leaves. The hidden leaf bustled as usual, vendors shouted, children darted between food stalls, and ninja in flak jackets moved with quiet purpose. It was a morning like any other, except for the faint, tingling sense of unease lingering in the air, noticed only by the most experienced shinobi. Hidden in the shadows of an old tea house, an old man sipped his tea. His hair was silver, flowing and wild, and a single scar traced the corner of his eye. He looked out of place, but there was a sense of calm around him, a stillness that made even passing ambu hesitate. To most, he was just another traveler, but to those with instinct, he was something more. Something dangerous. He watched as a flash of orange zipped through the crowd. Naruto Uzumaki sprinted down the street, arms flailing, a wide grin on his face. The boy was covered in flour, trailing bits of pastry. Behind him, the baker's angry shouts echoed, "You little pest! That was my last melon bun." Naruto dodged a crate, tumbled through an alley, and emerged breathless near the tea house. He looked around, laughing, only to freeze as he locked eyes with the old man. For a moment, the world seemed quieter. Naruto felt a prickle on the back of his neck, like he'd been caught by Irika-sensei and the Hokage at the same time. The man's eyes glinted, not with malice, but with a curiosity that made Naruto squirm. "Lost something, kid?" the stranger asked, voice gravelly but warm. Naruto's grin returned, albeit shaky. "Nope. Just, training. Ninja training. Totally normal stuff." The man chuckled, setting his cup down. "Is that right? You look more like you're running from your problems." Naruto bristled. "Hey, I'm not running from anything. I'm gonna be Hokage someday, you know." The stranger's gaze softened. "Ambitious. But power and dreams need more than just running fast." Naruto scowled. "I got plenty of power. Watch, I bet I could beat you in a race right now." Before the man could answer, the baker's voice rang out again. Naruto's eyes widened. "Gotta go," he yelped, darting off down another alley. The old man watched him go, lips curled in amusement. Elsewhere, on a rooftop, two masked ambu crouched, watching the tea house below. One tapped his mask. "Who's the old man? He doesn't match any bingo book profile. Whoever he is, Lord Hokage wants a report. Keep your distance. He gives off odd vibes." Later that night, Naruto sat on the swing outside the academy, licking a half-stale bun he'd managed to save. The village lights glimmered, but Naruto felt the usual cold distance. Even the moon seemed far away. He closed his eyes, wishing the world would notice him just once. Just one person who didn't look through him. "You did well, earlier," came the old man's voice. Naruto jumped. The stranger stood a few paces away, leaning on a walking stick, smiling gently. How'd you sneak up on me?" Naruto demanded, trying to sound tough, but mostly sounding tired. The old man shrugged. "Let's call it an old trick. You have spirit, Naruto. You shine so brightly it's hard not to notice. But tell me, do you know what it really means to be strong?" Naruto looked away. "Yeah, it means nobody can push you around. That you protect your friends. And someday, the whole village." The man's eyes seemed to twinkle in the moonlight. "A good answer. But strength isn't just about fist and jutsu. There's another kind, one that comes from within. From the heart. From willpower." Naruto blinked. "Willpower? You mean like stubbornness?" "I got plenty of that." The old man laughed, the sound rumbling deep and warm. "Yes, but more than that. Have you ever felt someone's presence before you even saw them? Known they were behind you, not from sound, but from a feeling?" Naruto hesitated, memories of cold glares and whispered voices flickering in his mind. "Sometimes, that's the beginning. The world is bigger than you know." Naruto Uzumaki. "And you, if you want to be Hokage, you'll need to open your eyes to all of it." He leaned closer, dropping his voice. "If you're brave, meet me at the old training field at dawn. I'll show you something no one else in this village can." With that, the old man turned, his cloak swirling behind him, and vanished into the night. Naruto stared after him, heartbeat racing, uncertain and excited. Who was that guy? He wondered aloud. He had no idea that by sunrise, his world and the entire shinobi era would begin to change. End of Chapter 1. Chapter 2. The Test of Spirit. Dawn in Konoha was a gentle thing. Pink light spilling over rooftops, birds chirping, and mist curling around the training grounds. Naruto yawned and rubbed his eyes, a half-eaten rice ball clutched in his hand. He glanced around, shivering in his jacket. Great. What if it was all a weird dream? Or worse, a prank? Stupid old. A flash of silver caught his eye. The old man from last night stood in the field, staff planted in the grass, calm as if he'd been waiting for hours. Naruto tried to act cool. TCH. You're early, Gramps. Rayleigh, though Naruto still didn't know his name, smiled. Ninja are always early, or dead. Now, ready to see what real power feels like? Naruto's eyes sparked with curiosity and challenge. Bring it on. Just don't blame me if you get blown away by my jutsu. Rayleigh chuckled, eyes twinkling. No jutsu. Not today. I want you to stand there, close your eyes. Listen, Naruto frowned. That's it, he grumbled, but obeyed, standing stiffly with arms crossed. Let your mind go quiet. Stop thinking about ramen, about pranks, about being Hokage. Just listen. Naruto tried, but his brain buzzed with energy. His thoughts chased themselves in circles. Hokage, training. What would Iruka say? Did that old man have any food? What was for breakfast? Shut up, brain, he muttered, scrunching his face. Rayleigh snorted. Focus. Don't force it. Let yourself feel. There was silence, except for the wind and birds. For a moment, Naruto almost relaxed. Then he felt something, not with his ears or his eyes. It was like a ripple in the air, a gentle pressure from behind. His heartbeat quickened. Someone was moving. No, three someones hidden behind the trees at the edge of the training ground. Naruto's eyes flew open. Huh, got you. You sent people to sneak up on me, he yelled, pointing at the woods. Rayleigh's lips curled in amusement. No, they're not with me. From the trees, three startled academy students stumbled out, Konohamaru and his friends, giggling, caught in the act. Ah, boss. How'd you know? Konohamaru complained, dusting himself off. Naruto blinked. I just knew. Rayleigh's gaze sharpened, his posture straightening. Good. You're more open than you think. That, Naruto, is called observation. In other lands, they call it haki. It's willpower given form. The instinct to sense others, not just with eyes or chakra, but with your spirit. Naruto looked at his hands, then at Rayleigh, then back at his hands. So, like mind reading? Rayleigh shook his head. No, you won't hear their thoughts, but you'll sense intent, emotion, even danger. The best users can feel attacks before they happen, or see far beyond normal senses. Konohamaru was starry-eyed. Whoa, teach me too, old man. Rayleigh grinned. You need a strong will first, little one. Maybe next time. Naruto felt a strange pride and a prickle of worry. He looked at Rayleigh, eyes suddenly serious. Can anyone learn this? What about my friends? Most people never will. It takes something rare, a heart that refuses to be crushed. You have that, Naruto. You've always had it. Naruto's chest swelled with something new. Hope, excitement, a fear of the unknown. He couldn't decide if it was awesome or terrifying. Rayleigh rapped his staff once. Lesson's over for now. Don't try to force it. Use it like breathing. Let it flow. But be careful. Some will fear you for it. Some will want it for themselves. Remember, power means nothing without heart. Naruto nodded, a grin breaking through. Yeah, I got heart. More than anyone. Rayleigh smiled, turning to leave. I'll be around. Use this power wisely. Naruto Uzumaki. Later that day, at the academy, Naruto sat at the back, twitchy and distracted. Iruka's chalk squeaked on the board, and the hand seals for fire style Naruto. Are you paying attention? Naruto snapped too, still half lost in the strange awareness from the morning. He could feel Iruka's irritation, Sakura's annoyance, and he glanced back. Sasuke's cold, analytical curiosity. Suddenly, Naruto could read the mood of the room, and it was overwhelming. Sakura nudged him. What's with you today? You look like you saw a ghost. Naruto tried to play it cool. Just, training. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. For a split second, Naruto swore he could sense a storm brewing beneath that calm exterior, rivalry, challenge, and something else. Iruka sighed, but Naruto was already lost in his thoughts. For the first time, he realized that maybe the old man was right. The world was bigger than he knew, and he was about to change it forever. End of Chapter 2. Chapter 3. Whispered Lessons. The sun hung high, bathing the hidden leaf village in warmth. But Naruto, for once, wasn't basking in the attention of a new prank or a fresh scolding from Iruka. He was deep in thought, replaying Rayleigh's words over and over. Use it like breathing, let it flow. But be careful. He squeezed his eyes shut and tried to focus, standing alone in the training field after class. If observation hockey was letting yourself feel, then maybe he could sense the birds, the ants, the wind. All he got was a pounding headache. Come on, he muttered, glaring at his hands. How hard can this be? Suddenly, a kunai whizzed past his ear. Naruto yelped and leapt aside, whirling to find Konohamaru and his ninja squad sneaking up, giggling behind the bushes. Gotcha, boss. Konohamaru crowed. Naruto tried to scowl, but the sense of relief was too strong. You little. I nearly used my super secret jutsu on you. Udon adjusted his glasses. Secret jutsu? You mean that weird thing you did earlier? Naruto blinked. You saw that. Moegi grinned. You just stopped and pointed at us, like you knew exactly where we were. Konohamaru eyed Naruto. Is it a new trick? Can you teach us? Naruto hesitated, remembering Rayleigh's warning. Maybe someday. You gotta have, really strong will. And eat lots of ramen. The kids nodded solemnly, clearly taking this wisdom to heart. Later, at a Chiraka ramen, Naruto sat at the counter, eyes shut tight, breathing deep. He tried to sense Tuchi's movements in the kitchen. Okay, Naruto, you can do this. Sense the bowl, sense the ramen. Kid, Tuchi asked, waving a ladle in front of Naruto's nose. You want your usual? Naruto jumped, nearly falling off his stool. Why, yeah. Just, practicing my ninja senses. I am giggled from behind the counter. What? Are you trying to predict the flavor? Naruto grinned sheepishly, then suddenly felt a strange tingling, a pressure, like someone staring at him. He spun, only to find Sasuke and Sakura entering, glancing his way. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. Naruto felt the cold curiosity, a challenge behind it, and almost swore he could hear Sasuke's silent question. What did you just do? Naruto gulped down his ramen, feeling awkward. So this is what Rayleigh meant. I can really feel when people are watching me. Sakura sat beside him, poking his shoulder. You've been acting weirder than usual. Did something happen? Naruto grinned, trying to act normal. I don't know what you mean, Sakura-chan. I'm just getting stronger, that's all. Sasuke scoffed. You're not the only one. His tone was cool, but Naruto sensed the underlying frustration. Sasuke was annoyed that Naruto was getting ahead, even in weird ways. Before Naruto could reply, Iruka appeared at the doorway, waving a scroll. Naruto, Team 7, report to the training field. It's time to prepare for the Chunin exams. And Naruto, try not to cause any more trouble today. Naruto smirked, but inside he felt a new resolve. If hockey's real, maybe I really can surprise everyone. Maybe I can prove I belong here. Nightfall, the old training ground. Naruto slipped into the training field, glancing over his shoulder. Rayleigh was there, almost glowing silver in the moonlight, leaning against a tree. Naruto wasted no time. How do I get better? The more I try, the harder it gets. Rayleigh smiled, eyes sharp with approval. That's how you know it matters. Power comes slow, Naruto. But you've already changed. Did you notice? Naruto remembered Sasuke's stare, Sakura's concern, the kid's awe. People are acting different. I can feel what they want, even if they don't say it. Rayleigh nodded. That's observation. You'll learn more, with practice and trust. But be warned, sensing others means you'll feel their pain too. Their envy, their fear. Don't let it crush your heart. Naruto swallowed, unsure. Rayleigh's tone grew serious. You're not alone. There are others who can awaken this power, those with strong will, or broken hearts, or hungry souls. They'll sense you too. Naruto thought of Sasuke, and for a moment, he was scared. Rayleigh rapped his staff against the ground. One more thing, Naruto. Hockey is willpower, but willpower can be dangerous. Don't use it to hurt or control. Use it to protect. Understand? Naruto nodded, a new gravity settling over him. Yeah, I get it. Rayleigh's smile was almost sad. Good. The Chunin exams will test you more than you know. Be ready. As Naruto headed home, the village felt different. The shadows seemed deeper, the air heavier, but inside, a spark had caught flame. He would protect everyone, no matter what it cost. And far away, in another part of the village, a pale-eyed boy stared up at the moon, a storm brewing in his heart. End of Chapter 3. Chapter 4. The Hidden Power. The hidden leaf was buzzing. Ninja from all over had arrived for the Chunin exams, and the air was thick with excitement and tension. Banners flapped. Vendors hawked festival snacks. Even the Hokage's tower seemed to lean forward, watching the drama unfold. But beneath the energy, another current flowed. Whispers. Some said a ghost haunted the training grounds at night. Others swore a silver-haired foreigner had frightened even the ANBU. A few, mainly children, insisted Naruto Uzumaki was learning secret arts from a wandering sage. Naruto himself noticed the looks. At first, he liked the attention. He even struck a pose or two in the market. But when he heard grown ninja muttering as he passed, when even Irika's smile seemed thinner, the feeling changed. Is this what Rayleigh meant? He wondered. Team 7 training ground. Sasuke eyed Naruto as they warmed up. You're different, he said suddenly, voice low enough so Sakura wouldn't overhear. Not just your usual idiot stuff. You're sharper. Naruto hesitated, then shrugged. Guess all that training's paying off, huh? Sasuke's gaze was cold, but his words were quietly respectful. Whatever you're doing, don't fall behind. Sakura rolled her eyes as she joined them. You two are acting weird. It's just the exams. Everyone's nervous, but she watched Naruto more closely, and he felt her concern. Real concern, not just annoyance. For once, he didn't hate it. Elsewhere, Hokage's office. Sarutobi stared out the window, pipe in hand. And you say he's teaching Naruto? He asked, his tone careful. A masked Ambu nodded. We haven't seen the stranger do anything hostile, Lord Hokage. But he radiates a pressure, different from chakra. Sarutobi sighed. Keep your eyes open. Naruto is special, but dangerous things are drawn to him. A marketplace incident. Naruto moved through the crowded square, a basket of groceries bouncing at his side. Irika had bribed him to run errands with the promise of dinner. Suddenly, two older genin from the cloud stopped in front of him, blocking his path. Heard you've got some new tricks, Leaf Brat, one sneered. Why don't you show us? The crowd paused. Naruto tensed, sensing their challenge, an aggressive, testing energy behind the words. For a heartbeat, the world felt sharper. He remembered Rayleigh's lesson. Don't use it to hurt. Use it to protect. Naruto held his ground, steady gaze fixed on the taller boy. I'm just here for groceries. If you want trouble, go find someone else. For a second, something flickered in the air, an invisible pressure, just a taste of conqueror's hockey. The older genin blinked, suddenly uneasy. Their bravado faded, and they stepped aside, muttering. Naruto let out a shaky breath. His hands trembled, but he forced a smile as he walked on. From a nearby stall, Hinata watched, wide-eyed. She felt something pass over her, like a shadow or a breeze that brushed against her heart. Naruto-kun, night. Rayleigh's warning. The moon hung heavy. Naruto found Rayleigh at their usual spot, the older man gazing up at the stars. Words getting out, Rayleigh said without turning. Not just about me. About you. Naruto frowned. I didn't do anything. They just look at me different. Rayleigh's tone was gentle, but edged with iron. That's the price of standing out. Jealousy. Fear. It'll get worse before it gets better. Naruto bristled. They can say what they want. I'm not gonna hide. Rayleigh nodded approvingly. Good. But strength isn't just about fighting enemies. It's about surviving the loneliness. Can you bear it, Naruto? Naruto swallowed, thinking of the long years of being alone, of empty birthdays and whispered names. But then he remembered the warm moments. Irika's smile, Haku's quiet support, the way Team 7 was starting to feel like home. He looked Rayleigh in the eye, determination blazing. I can handle it. I've got friends now. I'm not alone. Rayleigh's smile was soft, almost proud. Then you're stronger than most. The exams will test more than your skills. They'll test your heart. Remember that. As Naruto made his way home, he passed by the academy swing, pausing just long enough to glance at the shadows. For the first time in years, he didn't feel invisible. He felt seen by allies and enemies alike. And for the first time, he didn't hate it. End of Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Pressure in the exam hall. The morning of the Chunin exams came with thunder in the sky and electricity in the air. Genin from every corner of the elemental nations gathered at the academy, whispering and sizing each other up. Some faces showed nerves, others, hunger. Naruto's stomach growled loud enough to make a sand ninja glance over, unimpressed. Team 7 stuck together in the lobby. Sakura was running through jutsu in her head, lips moving. Sasuke's eyes scanned the crowd, measuring threats. Naruto fidgeted, a ball of restless energy. Don't embarrass us, Sakura whispered, more out of habit than annoyance. If you fail the written part, we all go down with you. Naruto grinned. Hey, I'm smarter than I look. Believe it, Sasuke smirked. But there was a flicker of respect in his gaze. Just don't get distracted, dope. Naruto rolled his eyes, but a jolt ran through him. He could sense tension buzzing between the teams. He tried to focus the way Rayleigh taught him, letting his mind go quiet. Immediately, a swirl of emotions hit him. Fear, bravado, calculation, boredom, suspicion. It was overwhelming, but he steadied himself, anchoring to the comm centers, Sasuke's icy confidence, Sakura's determined hope. Rayleigh's voice echoed in his mind. Let yourself feel, but don't drown. Find your own heart first. Exam room 301. Ibiki Marino, with his scarred face and unreadable eyes, loomed at the front. Rows of genin shuffled to their seats. Naruto sat between Sakura and Sasuke, pencil already chewed to a nub before the test even started. Ibiki's presence was a dark cloud, thick with threat. He's not just scary, he's challenging us, Naruto thought, a new kind of awareness buzzing in his chest. He couldn't see Ibiki's intent, but he could feel the way the man pressed on the class, searching for cracks. The test begins, Ibiki announced. If you're caught cheating, you and your whole team are out. Naruto gulped. The first question was already gibberish to him. Okay, Naruto, focus. Don't panic. You can do this. Just sense the room. He closed his eyes for a moment, breathing in, letting his senses widen. He picked up the tick-tock of pencils, the scrape of chairs, the subtle intent as some teams slipped glances, signaled with fingers, or copied with mirrors. He could almost feel who was about to get caught, who was sweating bullets, and who had simply given up. Then he focused on Sakura, her mind a whirlwind of calculation and speed, numbers clicking into place. For a moment, it was like riding a current. He couldn't read her thoughts, but he could sense when she got an answer right. Naruto smiled and scribbled down what felt right. He tried it again, tuning into Sasuke, feeling the sudden clarity and confidence when he finished a question. Naruto wrote more answers, his confidence growing. Maybe this hockey stuff really works, he thought, stifling a laugh. But the pressure in the room kept building. Some ninja began to sweat, and Naruto could sense fear, the fear of letting teammates down, the fear of failing. It clung to him, nearly crushing. Rayleigh said to use it to protect, not to control. He shot a look at a trembling boy on his left, the fear radiating off him. Naruto whispered, just loud enough, "Hey, it's not over till it's over. Don't give up." The boy blinked in surprise, steadied, and went back to his test. Naruto felt a little surge of pride. Midway through the exam, Naruto felt a familiar pressure, a prickling on the back of his neck. He scanned the room, meeting Hinata's gaze for a moment. She looked startled, then determined. Something in her shifted. He could feel her resolve rising. Naruto grinned, encouraging her silently. Ibiki moved through the rows like a panther. But Naruto didn't shrink. He kept his presence steady, sensing when Ibiki's attention passed over him. He wrote with confidence he didn't have an hour ago. Exams end. The final question was announced. Ibiki explained the stakes. If you fail now, you'll never be allowed to take the Chunin exams again. Despair spread like wildfire. The weight in the room was crushing, and even Naruto nearly buckled under it. But he remembered Rayleigh's lesson. Don't let it crush your heart. Naruto slammed his fist on the desk, standing up. I don't care what you throw at me. I'm not giving up. I'll take this stupid test as many times as it takes, 'cause that's my ninja way. His spirit blazed, a wave of defiance rolling through the room. Other Jin had straightened up, infected by his determination. Even Ibiki paused, studying Naruto with new interest. When the test ended, Ibiki smiled. A little. You all pass. The true test was never about answers. It was about resolve. Relief exploded around the room. Sakura hugged Naruto, half laughing, half scolding. Sasuke nodded, looking at Naruto with real respect. As the crowd poured out, Naruto caught a glimpse of a silver-haired figure watching from the window above, a faint smile on his lips. End of Chapter 5. Chapter 6, Into the Forest. The Forest of Death was living up to its name before Team 7 even crossed the threshold. Towering trees, vines as thick as a man's arm, and the kind of humid, choking air that made you sweat just by breathing. Anko Mitarashi greeted the assembled Genin with her signature shark's grin and a gleam in her eyes that made more than a few teams rethink their life choices. Welcome to the second exam, brats, she called, tossing a stack of scrolls in the air. The rules are simple. Survive, find the matching scroll, and reach the tower in 5 days. Oh, and try not to die. Naruto grinned wide, itching to go. Sasuke looked calm, but his hands flexed at his sides, eager for the challenge. Sakura checked her supplies, trying not to let her nerves show. After paperwork, blood samples, and warnings about murderers and giant bugs, the team spread out, disappearing into the trees. As soon as the gate closed behind them, Naruto felt his senses tingle, the world sharper, sounds clearer, the distant rustle of hidden teams echoing around them. Sakura whispered, Naruto, stay focused. No rushing in. We can't afford mistakes. Naruto nodded. But inside, he was already letting his senses expand, just as Rayleigh had taught. He could feel intent. Not chakra, not just movement, but something deeper. Someone was watching. 3 someones, actually, one filled with excitement, one with calculation, and one with cold bloodlust. He shivered. "We're being watched," he said, voice barely above a breath. Sasuke tensed. "From where?" Naruto squinted, closing his eyes for a moment. 2 o'clock, about 30 meters. The other, in the trees, behind us. Sasuke and Sakura stared. Sakura mowed. "How?" "Trust me," Naruto said, surprising himself with how certain he felt. "We should move now." They darted deeper into the forest, weaving through branches and roots. A kunai thunked into the tree where Naruto had been standing seconds before. The ambush had missed. A little deeper in, Sasuke glanced sideways at Naruto. "When did you get so sharp?" Naruto shrugged, playing it off. "Just paying attention, I guess." But he could sense Sasuke's suspicion, mixed with a grudging respect. Sakura's eyes widened as a centipede the size of her arm slithered by. She shrieked and nearly tripped, but Naruto steadied her. He couldn't help a laugh. "Even the bugs are out to get us." Sasuke rolled his eyes, but Naruto felt the stress in his teammate lighten just a little. Ambush. Without warning, a team in grass village headbands burst from the bushes, swinging kunai. One charged Naruto, grinning with malicious glee. Naruto felt the killer intent a split second before the boy moved, his observation haki flaring. Time seemed to slow. Naruto sidestepped, letting the attack pass, then tripped his opponent with a quick sweep. "You'll have to be faster than that." Sasuke and Sakura took down the other two with quick teamwork. The grass ninja groaned on the forest floor, shocked. Sasuke stared at Naruto, brow furrowed. "You really are different." Naruto just grinned, offering a hand to Sakura. Guess all that training paid off. Later, resting in a clearing, the team regrouped, keeping watch while Sakura tended a scratch on Naruto's arm. "Don't let your guard down," she scolded gently, but Naruto could tell she was impressed. He let his senses expand again. This time, he felt a cold, inhuman hunger lurking farther off, a chilling, snake-like intent that made his stomach twist. Whoever it was, they were watching many teams, but lingered on Team 7 for just a moment longer. Naruto frowned. "Something's out there. Worse than before." Sasuke tensed. "Who?" Naruto shook his head. "I don't know, but they're dangerous, and they're coming closer." Sasuke smirked, the fire of competition lighting in his eyes. "Let them come. We're ready." Naruto wasn't so sure, but as the sun set behind the tangled trees, one thing was clear. The Forest of Death was just getting started. End of Chapter 6. Chapter 7. Encounter with Orochimaru. Twilight crept across the Forest of Death, turning the shadows long and the branches sharp. Team 7 moved carefully, tension coiling between them with every step. Birds had gone silent. Even the insects seemed to know something was wrong. Naruto's nerves hummed. He let his senses spread out, brushing against the trees and the hidden threats. But now, there was something else, something cold, ancient, and wrong, circling them with predatory patience. Suddenly, the air shifted. A wave of killing intent swept over them, heavier than anything Naruto had ever felt. Sakura gasped and froze, paralyzed by fear. Sasuke's eyes widened, and even he took a step back. "It's here," Naruto realized, every instinct screaming. From the undergrowth, a figure emerged, tall, pale, golden eyes unblinking. The stranger wore a Kusa headband, but everything about him screamed danger. "Hello, little leaves." Orochimaru purred, voice like silk over a blade. Sasuke snapped into a ready stance, but his hands shook. Sakura couldn't even move. Naruto felt the pressure mount, a suffocating weight pressing on his chest. Something inside him resisted, fighting, straining. He focused on Rayleigh's words. "Don't let it crush your heart. Willpower is your shield." Suddenly, something snapped into place. A surge rushed through him, a force like standing in a hurricane, but the center was calm. Naruto met Orochimaru's gaze and, without meaning to, let out a burst of conqueror's haki. The air crackled. Sakura, still trembling, slumped to the ground unconscious. Two wild animals nearby bolted, eyes rolling in terror. Even Orochimaru blinked, his smile faltering. Well, Orochimaru purred, eyes narrowing. "What a fascinating child you are." Sasuke stared at Naruto in shock, but the fear in his eyes was replaced with something else, raw determination. Orochimaru lunged, impossibly fast. Sasuke met him head-on, kunai flashing. Naruto jumped in, letting his instincts and observation haki guide him. He could sense every twitch of Orochimaru's muscles, every intention behind his attacks. But it wasn't enough. Orochimaru was a monster, a blur of strength, cunning, and cruelty. He battered Sasuke aside, reached for Naruto, and pressed a cold hand to his throat. "So much potential," Orochimaru hissed, voice echoing in Naruto's mind. "But you're still just a child." playing at power. Naruto tried to fight, to call up the haki again, but the hand tightened. Panic flared. He glimpsed Rayleigh's lessons. Use your will to protect, not to destroy. With the last of his strength, Naruto focused on his teammates. Sakura lay still, and Sasuke was struggling to rise. Protect them. Don't let him win. A spark of armament haki flickered in his fist. He slammed it into Orochimaru's arm. The villain's eyes widened as Naruto's punch connected with an iron clang, actually forcing him to release his grip. Orochimaru laughed, genuinely amused. You have more surprises than I expected. I'll be watching you. Naruto Uzumaki. With a flicker, he melted away into the shadows, vanishing as suddenly as he had appeared. Naruto staggered, gasping. Sasuke rushed to Sakura's side, shaking her awake. Naruto's knees buckled, but he caught himself, pride and terror mingling. Sasuke stared at him, eyes sharp and confused. What was that? What did you do? Naruto shook his head, still catching his breath. I just didn't want him to hurt you. Or Sakura. Sakura came to, clutching her head. What happened? I felt like the world just broke. Naruto managed a shaky smile. I think we got lucky. Elsewhere, deep in the trees, Orochimaru licked his lips, eyes shining with twisted delight. A will that can challenge even mine. This Chunin exam just got interesting. That night, Team 7's camp. The three huddled together, still rattled but alive. For the first time, Naruto didn't feel like the weakest link, but he'd never been more afraid. He glanced at his hands, remembering the surge of power and the cost. Rayleigh's words echoed. Strength isn't about crushing your enemies. It's about protecting your friends, even from things you can't understand. Naruto made a silent promise. No matter what came next, he'd never back down. End of Chapter 7. Chapter 8. Surviving the forest. Morning crept slowly through the twisted boughs of the forest of death. Birds sang, but it sounded nervous, like even the wildlife knew something terrible had passed through. Team 7 sat in a rough circle, wounds bandaged, nerves frayed. Sakura sipped water, hands trembling. She watched Naruto out of the corner of her eye. How did you do that? She finally whispered. That pressure. I've never felt anything like it. Not even from the Hokage. Sasuke sat, arms wrapped around his knees, gaze distant. You knocked Sakura out cold, dope, he said quietly, but there was no bite to his words. Only awe, and a hint of jealousy. And you rattled him. Whoever that was. Naruto fidgeted, scratching his cheek. I don't really know. It just happened. I was scared. For you guys. He remembered Rayleigh's words, power means nothing without heart, and tried to put it into words. It's like, I didn't want him to hurt you. So I pushed back. Somehow, the team fell silent. The world felt bigger and scarier than ever, and Naruto's abilities seemed to open a door to something none of them understood. Sasuke finally stood, dusting himself off. We need to move. Whoever he was, he's not done with us. Sakura nodded, forcing herself to be brave. And we still need that scroll. Naruto smiled weakly. Let's go then. We can't let the other teams beat us. On the move, the day wore on. Team 7 kept their guard up. Naruto's haki, still raw and wild, flared at times, letting him sense hostile intent before it struck, catching traps, ambushes, and even a snake the size of a canoe. Sakura and Sasuke began to trust his gut feelings more than ever. A tense moment broke when a squirrel exploded a smoke bomb at Naruto's feet. Another team's prank. Naruto yelped, then, in a fit of irritation, tried to use his haki glare on the squirrel. It just blinked at him, then darted off. Sakura burst out laughing, and even Sasuke cracked a rare smile. Elsewhere in the forest, rumors spread among other teams. A leaf kid knocked out his own teammate with a look. Some kind of monster is running with Team 7. Beware the boy in orange. He can see right through you. Hinata, hiding with her own team, heard the stories and felt a strange mix of worry and admiration. Is that Naruto-kun? Nightfall. At camp, they stopped to rest by a slow, muddy stream. Sasuke sat on watch, sharpening a kunai. Sakura patched up Naruto's scrapes, her touch gentler than usual. You know, she said softly, I was always scared of being left behind, of not being strong enough for the team. But now, I think I'm more afraid of what might happen if we lose you. Naruto flushed, surprised. He met her gaze, then looked away, embarrassment and pride mixing. I'm not going anywhere, he promised. And I'll get even stronger. So none of us ever has to be scared again. Sasuke huffed, but his voice was steady. Don't get cocky. Whatever you did back there, you have to control it. Otherwise, next time, it might be you we have to protect. Naruto grinned, determination lighting his eyes. Then I'll just have to work harder. For all of us. Beyond the forest, far away, Rayleigh watched the stars, a faint smile on his lips. He's growing up fast. Maybe faster than I expected. As Team 7 drifted into uneasy sleep, the darkness around them seemed less absolute. The dangers of the forest of death remained, but so did their bond, stronger than ever, forged by fire and something new. Hope. End of Chapter 8. Chapter 9. Bonds forged in battle. The final hours in the forest of death were the hardest. Exhaustion pulled at every step, and the sky above was a bruised purple, thick with the threat of rain. Team 7 trudged forward, battered but unbroken, Naruto leading the way with senses sharp and nerves even sharper. "We're close," Naruto muttered, eyes flicking from shadow to shadow. His haki felt stretched, like a muscle used for the first time. Every time he reached out with his will, he could sense more: hostile teams, desperate plans, the trembling fear of Jinin who'd lost hope. Sakura stumbled, but Sasuke caught her. They shared a quick look: gratitude, worry, maybe something deeper. Naruto felt it, not just with his eyes, but with the odd, soft pulse of their intent. Friendship, care, something that made him want to keep going, no matter what. Suddenly, the trees thinned and the clearing opened up to a scene of chaos. Two rival teams fighting over a scroll. One team already down, the other battered, but wild-eyed. "We'll never get through without a fight," Sasuke whispered. Naruto grinned. "Good thing I like a challenge." A swift battle. The fight was short but fierce. Naruto, fueled by a mixture of intuition and his growing observation haki, ducked and dodged attacks he couldn't even see, moving on pure instinct. Sasuke's Sharingan flashed as he mirrored Naruto's confidence, while Sakura kept their backs safe with precise, practiced throws of kunai. When one enemy tried to fake a surrender, Naruto sensed the intent to strike. He blocked the attack, startling everyone. "Nice try," he said, smirking. The battle ended with Team 7 standing tall, and the scroll they needed clutched in Sasuke's hand. As they caught their breath, Sakura grinned for the first time in days. "Maybe we really can do this." Sasuke nodded, a small smile ghosting across his lips. Maybe. A familiar face. As Team 7 approached the tower, another group emerged from the trees. A team with one masked, soft-eyed girl at the lead. Naruto's heart skipped. It was Haku, unmistakable despite the disguise. "Haku." Naruto called out before he could stop himself. Haku paused, surprised. For a moment, she glanced at her teammates, then let her mask slip, revealing a small, genuine smile just for Naruto. They walked side by side for a few paces, while their teams kept a wary truce. The tension of the exam faded, if only for a heartbeat. "I heard rumors about you, Naruto," Haku said quietly, eyes sparkling. "You're getting stronger. I can feel it." Naruto blushed, scratching his head. "I'm just trying to keep up." "It's not easy." Haku's gaze softened. "You're not alone anymore, are you?" Naruto shook his head, smiling. "Not anymore. You should come train with us sometime. Maybe you could show me how you do that cool ice mirror thing." Haku's smile grew. "Maybe I will. And maybe you could teach me that new sense of yours." They laughed, the sound cutting through the exhaustion. The tower gates. As the teams arrived at the tower, the tension returned, but now it felt different, like anticipation, not dread. They'd survived the impossible, not just by skill or luck, but by trusting each other. As they entered the tower, Sakura nudged Naruto. "You sure know how to make friends, don't you?" Naruto shrugged, grinning. "I guess I just don't want to be alone anymore." Sasuke glanced at them, a hint of warmth in his eyes. "Well, you're stuck with us now." Together, Team 7 stepped inside, ready for whatever came next. End of Chapter 9. Chapter 10. Quiet before the storm. For the first time in days, Team 7 was safe. The tower at the center of the forest of death was a sanctuary, a patchwork of beds, medical staff, and anxious, battered Jinin. Relief mingled with exhaustion in every corner. Sakura wrapped fresh bandages around Naruto's arm. "You're lucky, you know. If that trap had been sharper, you'd be explaining to the medics how you got a kunai in your ear." Naruto laughed. "Yeah, but then I'd have an excuse not to listen to Iruka's lectures." Sasuke, sitting on the end of the bed, rolled his eyes. "Don't encourage him." But the mood was lighter than before. The terror of Orochimaru, the endless dangers, even the constant hunger had forged them together. They were different now, closer, more trusting. They'd faced death and come through alive, not just as teammates, but as something like family. Naruto and Haku. A moment alone. After getting checked out by the medics, who muttered about kids these days and their ridiculous injuries, Naruto wandered the hallways. He found Haku sitting by a window, looking out at the rain. Her mask was off, and for a moment, she seemed almost fragile, just a girl with too many memories for her years. "Hey," Naruto said, sliding down next to her. Haku smiled softly. Hey, Naruto. They sat in silence, watching water bead and race down the glass. Naruto wanted to say something cool, something smart, but what came out was honest. I was scared out there. Really scared. Haku nodded, her gaze distant. Me too. I thought I was used to being alone. But this time, I didn't want to be. I kept thinking about you and your friends fighting for each other. It made me hope I could find that too. Naruto's voice was quiet, but certain. You can. You already have. Haku looked at him, hope flickering in her eyes. Thank you. I want to get stronger. Not for revenge or for someone else's dream. For me. For the people I care about. Naruto grinned. That's the best reason. Maybe after all this, we can train together. I want to see how far we can go. Haku's laughter was gentle, full of new confidence. You're on, Naruto. Elsewhere, bonds and rivalries. Sasuke leaned against a wall, arms crossed, watching other teams recover. His gaze lingered on Naruto and Haku, unreadable. Sakura joined him, following his line of sight. They're good for each other, Sakura said softly. Sasuke's expression didn't change, but he nodded. Naruto's changing. So are we. Sakura smiled, determined. Let's make sure we don't fall behind. Sasuke smirked. I don't intend to. The announcement. All the remaining genin gathered in the main hall. The proctors announced the next stage, a preliminary tournament to thin the ranks for the finals. Tension returned, but this time it felt like electricity, eager, crackling, alive. Naruto glanced at his teammates, then at Haku. He felt the bond between them, invisible but unbreakable. No matter what came next, they would face it head-on. That night, Naruto lay awake, staring at the ceiling, a sense of excitement burning through his exhaustion. He could feel something building inside, his haki growing stronger, his heart more certain. For the first time, he believed, really believed, that he could become someone who changed everything. He closed his eyes, and for once, his dreams were not of loneliness or fear, but of hope, laughter, and the promise of a better tomorrow. End of Chapter 10. Chapter 11. Clash in the Arena. The tower's main hall was transformed overnight. Now, stone columns ringed a fighting pit, with genin clustered on the upper walkways. The air buzzed with anticipation and nerves as the proctors explained the rules. When you're match, or you're out. Naruto tried to look confident, but his heart hammered in his chest. Sakura squeezed his hand for luck. Sasuke gave him a curt nod, subtle, but more support than he'd ever gotten before. Haku stood with her team, glancing over with a gentle smile that made Naruto stand a little straighter. Hey, Gecko, the proctor, cleared his throat. First match, Naruto Uzumaki versus Kiba Inuzuka. Kiba grinned, Akamaru yipping at his side. Ready to lose, Naruto? You're not the only one who's gotten stronger. Naruto grinned back. I hope not. Otherwise, this'll be boring. The crowd snickered. Sakura rolled her eyes. Hinata watched, anxious, hands clenched at her chest. Naruto versus Kiba. Hate signaled them to begin. Kiba wasted no time. He and Akamaru blurred into motion, fangs bared, a spinning blur of teeth and claws. Naruto let instinct guide him. Kiba came at him from the right. Naruto felt the intent, the swirling mix of excitement and challenge, before the attack landed. He sidestepped just in time, surprising everyone. Kiba snarled, upping his speed. Quit dodging and fight, Naruto. Naruto laughed, but this time, his movements were smoother, sharper. He moved like he knew where Kiba would be a moment before he got there. Akamaru leapt in from behind, but Naruto's observation haki flared. He spun and caught the little dog, gently setting him down. The crowd murmured, some in awe, some suspicious. Sasuke's eyes narrowed, trying to analyze Naruto's luck. Sakura, facing a tough opponent, managed to outthink her rival with a clever trick Naruto had shown her during their downtime. She won, barely, and celebrated with uncharacteristic excitement. Haku's turn came. Her calm and focus sent chills through the crowd as she won her match quickly and gracefully, earning respect from friend and rival alike. Between fights, during a break, Naruto found himself surrounded by whispers and wide-eyed looks. Did you see that? He moved like he could see everything. Was that some kind of new jutsu? Naruto just shrugged, sharing a sly wink with Haku. Sasuke cornered him before his own match. What are you hiding, Naruto? Naruto met his gaze, not backing down. I'm just being myself, for once. Sasuke snorted, a real smile flickering. Then you'd better keep it up. I'm not losing to you. End of the day, as the matches wound down, the remaining genin were battered but buzzing. The finalists for the tournament were set. For the first time, Naruto felt like he truly belonged, not just as a loudmouth, but as a real contender. Later, as the teams gathered for dinner, Naruto caught Haku watching him. You fought well? she said softly, her smile proud and genuine. Naruto's grin was unstoppable. Thanks. You too. Maybe we'll meet in the finals. Haku's eyes sparkled. I like that. Outside, the night was calm. Inside, the fires of new rivalries and deeper bonds burned bright. The next stage was coming, and this time, Naruto would face it head-on, with all the heart and spirit he could muster. End of Chapter 11. Chapter 12. Unlikely Teachers. The tower quieted after the roar of the matches. The tension was replaced by exhaustion and anticipation. Finalists would have a month to train for the tournament's last stage. For the first time in weeks, Naruto had space to breathe. Yet his mind spun faster than ever. He was stronger now, but every win brought new questions about Haki, about his place in the village, about how much he still didn't know. Training invitations. Naruto sat on a rooftop, swinging his legs and watching the stars. The air was cool, and for a moment, the village felt peaceful, like it was rooting for him, not against him. Rayleigh appeared out of the shadows, as if he'd stepped out of the night itself. Not sleeping, kid? Naruto grinned. Too many things to think about. Finals. Friends. Enemies. Haki. I want to get better, but it feels like there's a mountain in front of me. Rayleigh nodded, settling beside him. That's how you know you're on the right path. Power's not a straight line. It's a climb, and sometimes you fall back. The real trick is to keep going, even when you're scared. Naruto was quiet for a moment, then asked, Will you train me again? Rayleigh smiled. I thought you'd never ask. Bring that friend of yours, too, the one with the gentle heart. Naruto's face warmed. Haku. She's really something. Rayleigh's eyes twinkled. She's like you, a survivor with a strong will. That's rare. You'll help each other grow. Training. Naruto and Haku. The next morning, Naruto found Haku in the garden outside the tower. Dew sparkled on her hair, and she smiled as he approached. Ready for a challenge? Naruto grinned. Haku's eyes glinted with determination. Always. They met Rayleigh at an old training ground, where he put them through their paces, sparring blindfolded, sensing each other's presence, learning to focus their will without relying on sight or sound. Naruto learned how to steady his observation haki, how to read intentions without letting emotions overwhelm him. Haku showed surprising skill, picking up on Rayleigh's lessons with grace and quiet intensity. She even teased Naruto, tripping him with a flicker of intent he didn't see coming. Not fair. Naruto protested, laughing as he landed in the grass. Haku laughed too, her joy clear and contagious. You said you wanted a challenge. Rayleigh watched, arms crossed, smiling. You two make a good team. Don't forget, hockey is as much about trust as it is about will. As the sun set, Naruto realized how much lighter he felt. Training with Haku was different than training alone. It made him braver, and it made every setback easier to face. Elsewhere, rivalries and resolve. Sasuke, meanwhile, trained with Kakashi, frustrated by his own limits. He watched Naruto and Haku from afar, determination darkening his eyes. I won't let myself fall behind. I have to surpass them, whatever it takes. Sakura pushed herself, too, remembering Naruto's words and the fierce kindness of her own teammates. She stayed late at the training grounds, practicing until her hands were raw. Night. Honest words. That evening, as the moon rose, Naruto and Haku walked back together, sore and laughing. They paused on the bridge outside the tower. Thanks for today, Haku said softly. I haven't had this much fun in, maybe ever. Naruto blushed. Me neither. With you, I don't feel alone anymore. They stood in silence, sharing the night air. Haku looked up, determination clear in her gentle smile. Let's both do our best in the finals. No matter what happens, let's make each other proud. Naruto grinned, feeling something unbreakable settle between them. Deal. As the village slept, the future crept closer. Rivals trained. Bonds grew. And Naruto, for the first time, faced tomorrow without fear, knowing that whatever came, he wouldn't face it alone. End of Chapter 12. Chapter 13. Clash in the Arena. Konoha was alive with excitement. Word of the tournament finals spread like wildfire. Villagers and shinobi filled the stands, joined by dignitaries and shinobi from every corner of the continent. Banners fluttered. Children wore painted whiskers in tribute to their new favorite underdog. Naruto felt his stomach twist as he stepped into the light of the stadium. He glanced at the stands. Iruka waved frantically. Ayam from Ichiraka grinned. And, somewhere high up, he caught the glint of Rayleigh's eyes. Haku gave him a thumbs up from the waiting area, her encouragement steadying his nerves. Sasuke stood beside him, arms crossed, eyes sharp. Don't trip over your own feet. Dope. Naruto grinned. Only if you promise not to sulk when I win. The proctor, Genma, called for silence. First match, Naruto Uzumaki vs Neji Hyuga. A ripple of excitement and tension swept through the crowd. Naruto vs Neji. Fates collide. Neji stood in the center of the ring, calm and distant, his Byakugan already active. Give up, Naruto. Fate can't be changed by stubbornness. Naruto shook his head, feeling his hockey pulse in his chest. I don't care about fate. I make my own way. Neji moved with lightning precision, his strikes meant to end the fight quickly. Naruto's observation hockey flared. He felt each attack a heartbeat before it came, his instincts and will guiding him just out of reach. Neji's eyes narrowed, confusion breaking his perfect calm. How? Naruto smirked. You're not the only one with eyes, Neji. The crowd gasped as Naruto dodged another gentle fist assault, barely missing a disabling blow. He caught the intent behind Neji's next move, shifting just in time, then let a touch of armament hockey flow into his forearm. When Neji's palm struck, Naruto blocked it. Neji's hand thudded against him like iron. A hush fell. Even the Hyuga elders leaned forward in shock. Neji's mask cracked. Impossible. Naruto used the moment. With a burst of speed, guided by pure will, he ducked under Neji's guard and tapped him on the shoulder. Tag, you're it. Laughter rippled through the stands, breaking the tension. Neji's pride snapped. He redoubled his attacks, but Naruto matched him, a mix of old tricks and new, focused strength. Finally, Neji landed a glancing hit, sending Naruto skidding, but Naruto grinned, blood on his lip and fire in his eyes. You can see through walls, Neji, but I can see your heart. You're fighting yourself, not just me. Neji hesitated, for just a breath. Naruto saw it, and pressed his advantage, using his observation hockey not just to dodge, but to understand. With a final move, Naruto rolled past Neji's defense and knocked him down with a softened armament hockey punch, just enough to win, not to humiliate. Gama called it. Winner, Naruto Uzumaki. The crowd erupted. Neji sat up, stunned, but Naruto offered him a hand. See, Naruto said quietly. You can change anything if you believe it. Neji took his hand, something new and grudging in his eyes. Perhaps fate isn't absolute. The aftermath. Sakura ran down to hug Naruto, grinning ear to ear. Even Sasuke couldn't hide his respect, and Haku's smile was warm with pride. Other Genin whispered, now openly awed. How's he doing this? Is it chakra? Or something else? Naruto, beaming, just waved to the crowd, then slipped, landing on his butt. Laughter burst out everywhere, breaking the tension, and Naruto laughed with them, unashamed. Elsewhere, shadows move. Hidden high above, Rayleigh watched with a small, satisfied smile. In the darker corners of the stands, Danzo and other elders murmured, eyes sharp and calculating. And somewhere in the city, Orochimaru smiled his slow, snake-like smile. The games begun, little shinobi. As the day moved on and more matches began, one thing was clear, Naruto had arrived, and nothing in Konoha would ever be the same. End of Chapter 13. Chapter 14. Secrets revealed. The excitement in the arena hadn't faded. If anything, Naruto's victory had set the stands alight with new energy. As medics hustled Neji away and the next names flashed on the board, the whole village buzzed with speculation and awe. Haku's turn arrived sooner than expected. Next match, Haku of the Mist versus Kankuro of the Sand. Naruto hurried to the rail, cheering loudly. Go, Haku. Show him what you've got. Sasuke stood beside him, arms crossed. She's strong. Maybe even stronger than you, dope. Naruto grinned, unbothered. That's why I like her. Haku versus Kankuro. Kankuro was all swagger, boasting about his puppet and the secrets hidden inside. But Haki moved with quiet grace, her eyes steady, her breath calm. She waited, watched, and felt. When Kankuro's puppet lunged, Haku didn't flinch or observation Haki flared, letting her sense every shift in Kankuro's intent, every movement before it came. She slipped around attacks like water, never panicking, always reading the flow. The crowd murmured, sensing the difference. Then, with a flurry of hand seals, Haku unleashed her signature. Ice mirrors blossomed around the ring, dazzling in the sunlight. For the first time, Kankuro's confidence faltered. He tried to call for a timeout, but Haku was already moving, appearing from a mirror to land a gentle but firm blow, knocking the puppet master off his feet. When Ginma called the match, Kankuro's puppet lay in shambles, and Haku stood, calm and unruffled. The crowd erupted. Naruto hooped, grinning from ear to ear. Haku bowed, then glanced up at Naruto, her shy smile clear for all to see. Even the elders muttered in grudging respect. Backstage, allies and questions. After the match, Naruto found Haku in the shaded hallway. You were amazing, he said, eyes shining. You didn't even break a sweat. Haku shook her head, blushing. Your training helped. And I could feel your support out there. It made all the difference. Naruto tried not to blush too obviously. Hey, maybe we're both getting stronger. Nearby, Sasuke watched them, his mood shifting between respect and frustration. How did Naruto get this far? How did I fall behind? Sakura joined him. You know, you could try being happy for your friends. Sasuke scoffed. I am. I just want to prove I can keep up. That I matter, too. Sakura looked at him with quiet understanding. We all do. But we're stronger together than alone. Sasuke said nothing, but the words stayed with him. Above the arena, leaders' concerns. High above, in the shadows of the Kage box, Sarutobi the third Hokage watched with sharp eyes. Beside him, Danzo leaned in. This new power in Uzumaki. It's dangerous. If word spreads, it could disrupt the balance among the villages. Sarutobi blew out a long sigh of smoke. Or it could inspire the next generation. We must watch, but not interfere yet. Danzo frowned. Power like that belongs under control. Our control. As the Hokage pondered, Rayleigh stood quietly on a distant rooftop, sensing the shift in the wind. He smiled to himself, a smile both hopeful and wary. Elsewhere, rumors spread. Other teams whispered about Naruto and Haku. Did you see that? She moved before he even did. They say Naruto's got some secret jutsu, or maybe a bloodline. Whatever it is, everyone's going to want it. And in the deepest shadows, Orochimaru's interest sharpened. That night, quiet conversations. Back at the tower, Naruto found Haku sitting on the balcony, gazing at the stars. You know, he said, if people keep talking about us, we might end up famous. Haku smiled, peaceful. Maybe. But I'd rather be remembered for protecting the people I care about. Naruto nodded, sitting beside her. Me too. They sat together in the gentle hush of the night, both knowing that the world was changing and that they were at the very heart of it. End of Chapter 14. Chapter 15. Showdown with Shadows. The crowd's cheers from Haku's victory still echoed as the tournament rolled on. Every match now felt weightier, every moment on the arena floor scrutinized by friends, rivals, and a gathering storm of onlookers from every corner of the shinobi world. Sasuke's name flashed next. Next match, Sasuke Uchiha versus Gaara of the Sand. The crowd grew tense. Everyone knew these two were different. As Sasuke stepped into the ring, his gaze flickered to Naruto and Haku in the stands. He caught Naruto's thumbs up and Haku's gentle nod, their encouragement a silent promise. You're not alone. Gaara's pale eyes bored into him. Hungry, hollow? Even from the stands, Naruto felt a pulse of something dark and wild, so much like the presence that had haunted the forest of death. Sasuke versus Gaara. The edge of control. The fight began with a blur. Sasuke was faster than before, the product of relentless training and desperation not to be left behind. Chidori crackled in his hand, blue light against Gaara's shifting sand. For a while, it was even. Sasuke's Sharingan let him anticipate Gaara's moves, while his speed kept him out of reach of the sand's crushing grip. The crowd was riveted. This was the best fight yet. But as the battle raged, Gaara's sand shield became wilder, less controlled. Sasuke saw pain in Gaara's eyes. Pain, fear, and an emptiness Sasuke recognized all too well. Is this what I could become? Sasuke wondered. Alone. Obsessed. Hollow. Naruto, watching with growing worry, felt Gaara's intense spike. Something monstrous swirling beneath the surface. Careful, Sasuke. Naruto yelled, his voice echoing in the arena. A clash of wills. Gaara let loose a barrage of sand bullets. Sasuke dodged, but barely. One grazed his cheek, blood blooming. The crowd gasped, but Sasuke stayed calm, channeling everything he had into his next move. He remembered Naruto's words, strength isn't about crushing your enemies. It's about protecting your friends. He pushed off the ground, Chidori singing in his palm. He aimed not to kill, but to break through Gaara's defenses. Gaara screamed, sand swirling like a storm, but Sasuke's will was stronger. With a flash of lightning and a burst of sheer stubbornness, Sasuke's Chidori pierced the sand dome, stopping just short of Gaara's chest. For a moment, everything went still. Gaara collapsed, clutching his arm, stunned. Sasuke, breathing hard, stood tall, but the darkness in Gaara's eyes didn't fade. In the shadows, eyes watching. In the Kaga box, Sarutobi frowned, sensing trouble. Danzo leaned forward, eyes glinting. See, Lord Hokage? They're all weapons waiting to be controlled or lost. Rayleigh watched from afar, his own gaze grave. They're still so young, but they're changing everything. Elsewhere, danger brewing. In a dark corner of the stadium, Orochimaru smiled, masked and unseen. So much potential. So much chaos yet to come. Unbeknownst to the crowd, Ninja in disguise shifted into position. The village's greatest test was coming, and the children who had stunned the world would soon face a threat no one expected. After the match, bonds tightened. Naruto and Haku rushed to meet Sasuke in the hallway. Sakura was already there, worry in her eyes. "You okay?" Naruto asked, clapping Sasuke's shoulder. Sasuke managed a rare, small smile. "Never better." But that kid, he glanced back toward the arena, where Gaara was being led away, still trembling. "He's got a monster inside. Not so different from some of us." Naruto nodded, understanding more than he said. "We'll get through it. Together." Haku smiled, her eyes shining. "You were brave, Sasuke." Sasuke rolled his eyes, but didn't argue. For once, he let himself lean on his friends, just a little. The finals weren't over, but something in the air had changed. As shadows deepened across the village, the bonds between friends shone brighter than ever. End of Chapter 15. Chapter 16. Bonds tested. The sun was high, casting long shadows over the packed arena. The finals rolled on, but a strange tension pulsed beneath the noise. Old Shinobi shifted uneasily, whispers spread, and even the birds seemed to hush. Naruto stood near the staging area, waiting for the next fight, when a chill swept over him. His haki flared, senses sharpened. He felt more than saw. Hostile intent, dozens of threads snaking through the crowd. It wasn't just nerves. It was a storm about to break. On the field, the next match was underway, a brutal, fast-paced bout between Temari of the Sand and Shikamaru Nara. The crowd cheered, but Naruto's focus was elsewhere. Sasuke appeared at his side, sweat on his brow, eyes hard. "You feel it, don't you?" Naruto nodded. "Something's coming. I don't know what, but it's big." From the stands, Sakura and Haku watched, concern tightening their faces. Sakura caught Naruto's eye, giving a subtle nod. She trusted his instincts now, and that trust made Naruto's heart steadier. Suddenly, above them, explosions echoed. Smoke rose on the horizon. Screams cut through the excitement like a blade. The invasion begins. A team of disguised sound and sand ninja dropped their masks, attacking proctors and spectators alike. Jinin scrambled for cover. Jonin leapt into action. Pandemonium broke out, shouts, jutsu, the crackle of urgent chakra. Naruto's haki screamed a warning as a sound ninja targeted Sakura. Before the kunai even flew, Naruto was there, intercepting with an armament haki-coated forearm. The weapon shattered against his skin. Sakura stared in shock. "How?" Naruto grinned, wild and fearless. "Trust me." Haku joined them, her hands flickering through eye-style seals. "We can't stay here. We have to help the others and get civilians out." Sasuke nodded, adrenaline burning away his doubt. "Let's move, Team 7. We stick together." As they fought their way through the chaos, Naruto used his observation haki to guide them around traps, enemy ambushes, and even led a group of frightened civilians to safety. The villagers saw Naruto not as a menace, but as a shield, a hero in orange, leading the charge. A beacon in the storm. Amid the terror, Naruto's will became a rallying point. Other Genin followed his lead, their confidence bolstered by his presence. Even Shikamaru, outnumbered, managed to regroup with his team thanks to Naruto's shouted warnings. As Team 7 carved a path through the chaos, Naruto caught glimpses of Rayleigh moving in the shadows, fending off elite threats, keeping an eye on his student. On the rooftop, a moment of choice. On a rooftop, the team paused to catch their breath. The sounds of battle echoed everywhere. Konoha was under siege. Sakura looked at Naruto, fear and hope warring in her eyes. "How do you do it? How do you stay so calm?" Naruto shook his head. "I'm not calm. I'm scared. But if I give in, who's going to stand up for everyone else?" Haku stepped closer, voice quiet but certain. "You don't have to do it alone, Naruto. None of us do." Sasuke looked over the city, fists clenched. "If we're going to protect this place, we do it together." Naruto nodded, the weight of his friend's trust settling over him like armor. For the first time, the burden felt lighter. The bonds that matter. As the invasion raged, Team 7 and Haku dove back into the fray, fighting not just with jutsu or new powers, but with everything they'd built together: trust, stubbornness, heart. For all the darkness closing in, Naruto's spirit blazed brighter, a beacon that gave hope to everyone who saw it. And somewhere, in the chaos, Orochimaru smiled. "The time has come. Show me what you're really made of, Naruto Uzumaki." End of Chapter 16. Chapter 17. Invasion begins. Konoha was chaos. Smoke curled from shattered rooftops. The air was thick with the crash of jutsu and the screams of both battle and fear. Everywhere Naruto turned, there was another fight, friends and strangers alike, all caught in the maelstrom. Naruto's haki swept wide, reaching beyond what he'd ever managed before. He could sense fear, pain, courage, and malice threading through the village like veins of lightning. But at the center of it all, he felt his team as Sakura's sharp determination, Sasuke's simmering resolve, Haku's calm strength. They moved as one, carving through enemy ninja with a mix of speed and raw will. Naruto led the way, his observation haki warning him of every ambush, every hidden threat. When a sound Jonin tried to blindside Sakura, Naruto's armament haki fist broke the enemy's guard with a single blow. Haku used her ice mirrors to shield a group of trapped children, her focus unwavering. Naruto, behind you. Naruto spun, Conqueror's haki flaring. The burst of his will stunned a squad of charging enemies, dropping some to their knees while the rest fled in panic. The villagers who witnessed it cheered, not in fear, but awe. For the first time, Naruto wasn't a scapegoat, he was a hero, a test of bonds. Gaara's awakening. At the village's edge, a monstrous chakra rose, a tidal wave of malice that made Naruto's skin crawl. He turned to find Gaara, transformed and feral, sand writhing like tentacles. Kankuro and Temari shouted for their brother, but he was beyond reason. Sasuke gritted his teeth. We have to stop him. If that thing gets loose, the whole village. I know, Naruto said, voice steady despite his fear. Let's go. Team 7 and Haku raced toward Gaara, weaving through burning alleys and fleeing civilians. As they reached the outskirts, Gaara roared, sending sand crashing through walls. Sasuke launched himself at Gaara with Chidori crackling, but the sand shielded the attack. Sakura and Haku coordinated to draw Gaara's attention, creating openings for Naruto. Naruto breathed deep, letting his haki expand. He felt Gaara's pain, raw and wild, desperate for connection. You're not alone, Gaara, Naruto shouted. You don't have to be a monster. We can help you. For a moment, Gaara's sand hesitated, but the beast inside pressed on, thrashing. Naruto pressed his hands together, channeling his will. Armament haki coated his fists and legs as he leaped in. Each blow rang out, not just physical, but laced with his own heart. He refused to back down. Finally, Conqueror's haki burst from Naruto, clashing with the wild chakra in Gaara. The force rocked the battlefield. For a moment, everyone, even Gaara, froze. Naruto staggered forward, battered but unbroken. He knelt beside Gaara as the sand receded, eyes full of empathy. It hurts, doesn't it? But you're not alone anymore. Gaara stared, stunned, tears mixing with blood and sand. For the first time, he wasn't feared, he was understood. Heroes in the ashes. With Gaara calmed, the rest of the enemy ninja faltered. The tide of battle turned. The villagers rallied, inspired by the courage of the youngest heroes. Rayleigh, fighting from the shadows, watched Naruto's haki sweep the field. A proud smile creased his weathered face. As the invasion finally broke, Team 7 regrouped, battered but alive, surrounded by the grateful faces of those they had saved. Sakura hugged Naruto, Sasuke nodded in real respect, and Haku's smile spoke volumes. Aftermath, bonds and new beginnings. The sun rose over a wounded but standing Konoha. The cost was high, but the spirit of the village was unbroken, thanks in no small part to the will of a boy who refused to give in. Naruto looked around at his friends, hope and exhaustion in his heart. For the first time, he truly believed. We saved them. Together, and somewhere, in the smoldering ruins, enemies licked their wounds and planned revenge. But for now, there was peace and the promise of a new day. End of Chapter 17. Chapter 18. Farewells and New Beginnings. Dawn broke over a battered Konoha. The smoke had faded, replaced by rays of gentle sunlight cutting through the wounded rooftops. The village was scarred, but alive, thanks to the courage of those who fought when it mattered most. Naruto walked the main street with Sakura, Sasuke, and Haku. Around them, villagers cleared rubble, sharing quiet smiles with every ninja who passed. For once, when people looked at Naruto, their eyes shone with gratitude instead of suspicion. Iruka hurried over, pulling Naruto into a bear hug. You did it. I'm proud of you, Naruto, of all of you. Naruto blinked, grinning through happy tears. We did it together, Iruka-sensei. The Hokage's recognition. Later, a ceremony was held in front of the Hokage monument. Sarutobi spoke to the gathered crowd, his voice stronger than it had been in years. Yesterday, we nearly lost everything. But because of the courage and unity shown by our young shinobi, Konoha stands tall. Let us honor those we lost, and those who showed us the true meaning of willpower and friendship. Danzo watched from the shadows, silent and calculating. But even he could not deny what the village felt. Naruto, once shunned, was now a hero. Team 7, together again. After the ceremony, Team 7 found a quiet spot by the river. The air was thick with unspoken words. Sakura broke the silence first, voice trembling. I was so scared, but I never want to run away again. I want to get stronger, like all of you. Sasuke looked at the water, his reflection serious. I saw how much I still have to learn. But for the first time, I don't feel alone. Maybe we really are a team. Naruto grinned, punching Sasuke lightly on the shoulder. Took you long enough, team. They all laughed, the weight of the past days breaking in a wave of relief. Naruto and Haku. A promise. As the sun set, Naruto and Haku found themselves on the academy swing, just like old times. For a moment, the world felt small and safe. Haku smiled, her eyes gentle but strong. You helped me find a place to belong, Naruto. Thank you. Naruto blushed, rubbing the back of his head. I should be the one thanking you. Without you, I'd have lost my way. They sat quietly, sharing a peace hard won. Haku reached out, taking Naruto's hand. Let's keep getting stronger together. No matter what happens, Naruto's heart soared. You got it. And I'll become Hokage one day, you'll see. She squeezed his hand. I believe it. Rayleigh's parting words. Later that night, as the stars blinked to life, Naruto found Rayleigh waiting in the shadows near the training field. Looks like you don't need much from me anymore, Rayleigh said, pride and a touch of sadness in his voice. You've learned what matters most. Naruto grinned. Does that mean you're leaving? Rayleigh nodded. For now. You've got your own journey, Naruto. And Haki is just the beginning. Remember, true strength is found in how you use your power. Protect your friends. Lead with your heart. Naruto bowed low, the gesture awkward but sincere. Thank you, old man. For everything. Rayleigh disappeared into the night, his laughter echoing in the wind. A new tomorrow. As the moon climbed high, Naruto lay on his back, Haku by his side, the world wide open in front of them. He closed his eyes, feeling the warmth of friendship, the strength of his bonds, and the fire of his dreams. For the first time, he felt not just hope, but certainty. The future waited, and Naruto Uzumaki would meet it with all the will, heart, and haki he possessed. End of Chapter 18. Chapter 19. Epilogue. The storm breaks. The sun rises. Konoha healed in small ways. Neighbors fixing fences, children chasing each other in the streets. Banners hung in memory of those lost, and in hope for those who would rise. The village had scars, but also a new heart, one that beat with the courage of its next generation. Naruto ran across the rooftops, the morning wind in his hair, a grin on his face. Everywhere he went, villagers called out greetings, no longer jeers, but cheers. Even the shopkeepers who once glared now offered extra food or kind words. The feeling was strange, but good, a reminder that he'd made a difference. In the training grounds, Team 7 gathered for one last day together before their lives changed again. Kakashi arrived with his usual lazy smile, congratulating them all. Even he looked quietly impressed. I knew you all had potential, Kakashi said, eye crinkling. But what you've shown this village, and yourselves, can't be taught in any lesson. Remember it. Sakura promised to train harder. Sasuke, while still chasing his own path, seemed less burdened by the weight of solitude. And Naruto. Naruto felt stronger, not just in body, but in spirit. A moment for two. After the team drifted away, Haku waited by the old academy swing. She watched Naruto approach, sunlight making her hair shine like silver. You're a hero now, you know, Haku teased, her voice soft and warm. Naruto blushed, stuffing his hands in his pockets. Guess I finally got people to notice me, huh? Haku smiled. You always deserved it. You never gave up on yourself or anyone else. They sat side by side on the swing, letting the peace of the moment settle around them. What now? Haku asked, leaning her head on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto looked out at the horizon. No? I train harder. I protect my friends. I learn everything Rayleigh taught me, and then some. One day, I'll become Hokage, and when I do, I want you right there beside me. Haku squeezed his hand, her smile bright. Always, a new legend begins. As the seasons changed, Konoha grew stronger. Word spread of the will of fire and haki that saved the village, inspiring Jinin everywhere. Some even whispered that other young ninja had started to unlock similar powers, sparked by Naruto's example. Naruto and Haku trained together, each day a little stronger, a little braver. Their laughter filled the air, a promise of joy after pain. At night, Naruto still looked up at the moon, but now his dreams were not of loneliness, but of adventure, love, and hope. Whatever awaited, darkness or light, he would meet it with the heart of a hero and the will that nothing in any world could break. The end. And that wraps up today's story. What if Naruto was trained by Rayleigh? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did putting it together. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment with your thoughts or your own what-if ideas, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.